Before I begin, I want...
Keep it right near your mouth.
Near? Is this better? Before I begin, I want the following to be on the record. I am not accusing Invenergy of any illegal actions, past, present, or future. And I'm not accusing Invenergy of lying.
I'm sorry, I just want to make sure we have your name.
Oh, I'm sorry, Stephanie Sloman from Pasco. I apologize. I'm a retired environmental engineer. I work for a large electroplating facility in Massachusetts. Even though I knew that the company's ultimate goal was to make money, I felt like I had a higher responsibility to protect the environment, the employees, and the residents surrounding the facility. I worked hard to go over and above these regulations. I butted heads with my boss so many times about this that truly I am surprised, even to this day, that I wasn't fired. I had integrity. The environment regulations are in place for a reason, to protect the environment. But there is something else that should run deeper than just the regulations. It is called integrity. For example, when a regulation states that a discharge limit of nickel must be 5 parts per million, but you know that the wastewater treatment system can do better, you tweak it to do better. Integrity is important. My husband and I moved from Massachusetts to Burrillville 30 years ago. Why? For the same reason everybody moves to Burrillville. It is a small, friendly, rural town full of management and conservation areas, full of lakes, reservoirs, and streams. It is full of wildlife and wetlands. We wanted our children to know of this place, to be brought up in this Eden, to learn the value of the environment and respect it, and to be part of the solution to protect it. We wanted them to learn the importance of integrity. I was asleep. I was one of those people that were asleep. I really didn't think that the town council and the regulations would allow this plant to come in. I went to the first meeting, and I was blown away. So I realized I had to get involved. So I read the entire 471 pages of Invenergy's application. I digested it. I read it over and over. I looked up every single report referenced by the application. I read multitudes of regulations, both state and federal. I read the questions from Burrillville and the responses from Invenergy through the siting board process. I read and read and read, and God, I'm tired. In Invenergy's application, there are 3 small sentences concerning hydrogen tube trailers in the entire 471 pages. I do not know what they were, and so I looked them up, and I was horrified. For a company not to divulge such important information, only giving the subject 3 sentences was unbelievable. Hydrogen gas is very flammable. It was no wonder that Invenergy only gave the subject 3 sentences. So I went on a hunt. What else did the application hide? Then I found a multitude of contradictions in the application. I found vagueness everywhere. Some tables showing the air emissions data was so small that I could barely read them even with a magnifying glass. So Invenergy to list important data, and then at the bottom of the tables it states, these are estimates given to us by the equipment manufacturers and are subject to change as the process develops, is outrageous. This is the application, is it not? It does not state that it's a draft application. It's full of contradictions, assumptions, models, and estimates. This is not Invenergy's first rodeo. 2 million gallons of ultra-low sulfur diesel will last only 3 days when the plant runs on diesel. Really? Does it say in the application? Oh yes, it does in the tiny data tables, but you have to calculate it yourself. This brings me to another horrifying point. Everywhere in the application it states that the proposed project will use natural gas as long as it is economically feasible and as long as it is available. What does that mean to you? It means to me that Invenergy is leaving a huge gaping hole in the application so that it is possible to run without natural gas. Now we all know about the explosion, the Algonquin pipeline exploded in Pennsylvania recently. Now then they would run on diesel. I did research concerning the Clear River subbasin. I'm not going to go into it, I got 11 seconds left. Blah, blah, blah. Here I go, yada, yada. Invenergy wants to use 19% aqueous ammonia for the project, not 20. Why? Because the project does not want to deal with the EPA's regulations concerning risk management plan in case of an accidental release. Then, unbelievably, Invenergy infers by this that the EPA does not think, or the DEM, I might add, that the EPA does not think that 19% aqueous ammonia is not. They don't think it's a health risk.
Okay, you have to wrap up.
Okay, I'll wrap up. I talk about the propaganda, blah, blah, blah. All right, I'm just going to switch right on to the bottom line.
Let her talk.
Okay. No, it's okay. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I could go on and on, but I have limited time. Oops, ran out. But speaking of time, I want to state this fact. If Invenergy was operating right now, during my over 5 minutes of talk time, 34 tons of greenhouse gases would have been released to the atmosphere. And you know something? This is not all about the water, Mr. Nyland. You could say, well, we won't use water. We could use just air. But it's not just the water. If the power plant is approved and becomes operational and starts to violate the air or water discharge limits, there's only one thing that the EPA DEM can do, and that's to fine the plant. It will pay the fines happily and chug along. No one can stop them.
We're not going to be able to hear it.
Hold on.
People talk about that fine.
All right, hold on. So you have a decision to make. Blah. Okay. We all, listen, I only have 3 paragraphs left. I'm reading as fast as I can. We all, listen. Hold on. And I've lost my place. I'm all confused. Okay. Listen. Your decision could change the course of history. You may not think so, but I believe it. Only the courageous are willing to do the right thing. How many brave soldiers have died to save our country in its history? We all have a finite amount of time on this planet. When our time comes, we will not be judged by the amount of money we had, but by our actions to improve the lives of future generations. And in order to do that, we must protect the environment. You, the members of the Society Board, have that duty. Do we want to continue using fossil fuels, or do we want to pave the way for renewables? You all have a choice to make. I know what decision I would make. 2 paragraphs. Rhode Island is a state of firsts, one of which was being the first to officially declare its independence from England, which was talked about before. Wouldn't it be great if Rhode Island was the first to officially and legally declare its independence from fossil fuels? Last paragraph. Rhode Island is the smallest state in the U.S., but it has a big heart. We all have big hearts, and we all do the best we can. I believe that. This is my point. But when a monster comes into my house, I must do everything in my power to slay it. My house is not just Burrillville, or just Rhode Island, or just New England, or just the United States. My house is Earth.
Nice.
Thank you.
You're just cutting into other people's time to speak. You're simply making sure that other people will not have an opportunity to address the board. Please.